Hi, it's Tim from Toy Tinker Tim, and here I'm going to be taking a look at a early 70s G.I. Joe adventure team. This is the Sea Adventure, and mainly what this video is going to focus on here is touching up Eyebrows. I'll just be going over kind of cleaning him up first, and then going in to put the paint in the sealer, mixing the paint, those type of things, just kind of covering a more simpler direct process, not a huge project that way, but going into the painting here on him. So pretty much just about all of his wear and tear, the face rubs and things were from his diving suit. Since he was the Sea Adventurer, I figured he was the perfect figure to have suited up for that gear. But sliding the collar and helmet stuff on and off of his head made some rubs out on there, and the bottom of his chin there, but the brows are pretty prominent in the wear, and that's what has gone on from there, from just play activity. So it's just a closer up look here before we get started. Okay, so getting him ready here for painting. The usual fallback on for me is to take just a soft bristle brush and some Dawn dish soap to get any dirt, but also you're getting rid of any grease or oil or stuff like that, residue off of the figure. So you've got a clean surface to start on. I use acrylic paints, and then based on the finish of the figure, I go over the acrylic with a varnish, an acrylic resin varnish. So I have two different ones depending on the look of the figure. So we're not dealing with a gloss finish on here like some of the other types of plastics. There's a bit of a shine to it. So I'm using the satin one. You don't have to use this brand. This is just what I've bought in the past. And Vallejo, I'm trying to see where's the name here. Vallejo, sorry. But basically, if you're looking for an acrylic resin, some kind of a sealer to put on, is the purpose of that, to protect the acrylic, because the acrylic can be a little soft. So, and then the other point here I'm going to bring up is, don't take your paint straight out of the tube if you use just straight black, because his brows are pretty much black. I was kind of surprised, really. I thought there'd be a little more variation in there, but if you use a straight color, your colors are going to look really flat and dead on the figure. So I'm going to be using a little bit of blue with my black. So I've got a mix. If it looked like a warmer, I think, I'd be putting like a dark brown or something like that. So for this, I'm using a ultramarine blue, and this is just a Mars black that I'm going to mix together. And then I'm going to be using, what was this brush here? This is a number 2 brush. Ta-da, there's the brush. Just so you got an idea there of what I'm working with here. So I'm going to splotch out a little bit of black, which is probably like way too much, but that's how it goes. We're working tiny, tiny. And we're going to put out a little bit of the blue. Come on. There we are. Good enough. I take my water to mix them. There's a acrylic medium you can use to blend your paints together. But for me, and working on this scale versus on a canvas, just using some water has been just fine. Get that up there a little bit more. Yeah. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit in a little bit of this blue. And we're going to start mixing it in here. Don't expect to see a huge color shift there going on. But like I say, when you're painting, you don't want to use a color just straight out of the tube. It'll look very flat. It'll kind of kill it. It'll look funny. And mixing things, even like your black, with another color. Here I'm mixing blue. Like I say, you could do brown, whatever. I'm gonna keep going here though with this blue. I don't know how much of this shows through the camera, but I do have a different mix of black here going on in this area that I'm working the brush in. I can see it from here, but now I need to get some of this paint off. It's a little too heavily loaded, the brush is, so back that off so I'm not gooping in with a super heavy brush. So I'm going to go in a little lighter first and then work my way up to darker or heavier. Still don't like the feel of that. I'm going to look at that brow. So just go in a little light here. You can see there's a nick in the plastic here too, so I might have to deal with that trouble spot a little bit differently there. Fortunately, on these Joe figures, their brows are molded in, so it's raised versus just a totally flat surface. And trying to work painting on a brow. So this helps quite a bit. Just let the design kind of dictate the flow and where it goes that way. Like other things, go light first. Don't worry about trying to go heavy here on your first run on that. Build it up. The other good thing with the acrylic, if you got it too heavy or a weird splotch, you can still scrape it off without damaging the figure. The acrylic will come off fairly easy yet. So like I say, up in here there's some gouges into the plastic. So I need to kind of come in and work those, finesse those a little bit here. I might have to use a smaller brush to get in there. Try to work that in. This one here, we got some more filling in there to do. I think I'm going to switch out here. You can see in the water, at least it's bluish black or blackish blue. Whichever you tend to care to use here. I'm going to switch over. This is sorry, you know, I come with a commercial art and fine art background. I don't know what to tell you on this one. A 20, if I can get that to focus. Let's try this again. Auto focus. 20. 0.20. That's good, isn't it? I don't know what size to tell you, but at least I could show you. What am I going with here? Work that in good. There we go. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I know he's got gouges from that diving helmet going on and off. So another tip for you, I'm going to let that paint dry on the eyebrows first before I go back in. And to keep this from drying out, I'm just going to slide this into a Ziploc bag, and I'll take a damp paper towel and lay it in the bag with this palette just to keep this paint from drying out. And so that'll be ready when we go back to the figure here to straighten out and touch up anything else on him before we put on the sealer. 2 coats of the touch-up paint on the brows, and then there were some gouges, some deep kind of scratches in there on his left brow here from, I imagine, the helmet and stuff going on in. A little bit of a bubble in there too when it was molded, but got that in and touched up, and then put on a coat of the satin varnish just to seal and protect it. And easy quick fix touch up there, and so anybody can do this one here. It's good. And clean up your action figures there, give them a nice touch up, they're good to go. So I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching. Consider subscribing so you can get all the other latest tips and ideas to keep your collection up in shape or restore some of your greater vintage pieces here. Thanks for watching Toy Tinker Tim.